Hi everyone, welcome to my first Flosstube of 2022. I hope everyone is well and had an enjoyable Christmas and New Year if you celebrated it or whatever you did. I had quite a good time. Lots of eating, lots of drinking. Found a new gin that I love, spiced plum. And yeah, I'm happy it's 2022. I'm looking forward to what the new year can bring. And I don't really want to reflect on 2021 to a great extent. So, Flosstube, first Flosstube of the year. It's been about 2 weeks, I think, since my video. I've stitched on a few things. I have a finish, for me, quite a big finish. Not big as in size, but just that it's kind of been on my mind for a while and I wanted to get it done. And I have some stockings to show you that are fully finished by the lovely Lynn. I have another star and finish, and I have some whips, a little bit haul, but not much haul. So I think we just crack on with the stitching. So the first thing I would like to share is my finish, and this is, we'll just organise it. Yeah, I'll not be any more organised in 2022. I've closed the curtains because it's daylight. Today is Wednesday. During the day I don't go back to work till tomorrow, so I thought I would take advantage to film today. Anyway, here it is. This is my finish, and this is Blackbird's Designs Merry Christmas. It's number 1 in their Christmas samplers. This is stitched on 32 count R&R Reproductions French Roast using the called for threads, and I would say I'm happy with the finish. I love it. I was actually just talking to my mum about maybe seeing if the framers are open to go down to the framers at some point over the next couple of weeks. But what I should say is that this is a little bit of an older chart. It's about 9 or 10 years old. And for me personally, the differences in some of the greens is extremely subtle. Yeah, it was not, it uses quite a lot of green, which is fine. I love green, but there wasn't a stark difference in many of them. I'll bring it a little bit closer. The colours are not totally accurate, but the border colour, if you look, you actually have the line of the border here. Then you have a small part of the flower or diamond in a different shade, and then you have the rest of it in a third shade. And if you look really closely, there's not a lot of variation between those three threads, in my opinion. So maybe because I just started stitching and kept going. The border did take me a while, and the lesson learned for me is that do your border on as you go. Don't leave it all to the end, because I did have to kind of power through a little bit to finish it. Now, this was part of my Christmas mania start. I started all 4 of the Christmas samplers, and I'm pleased that I got one finished before the end of the year. So the date on it I put is 2021 is accurate. I did finish it on the 31st of December. It was right to the wire. But yeah, I really love it. These are quite small samplers, and my biggest issue, I think, was just really the border at the end to get it finished. And what I like about this one is the colours. I love the kind of colour combination of it. So that was my last finish of 2021, and I'm really happy with it. It didn't take so long once I kind of put my mind to it. But yeah, so I'm pleased with that. So with that in mind, I have kind of started, well, I don't know where I'm going with this really, but I have another finish, and it's part of the Prairie Birds from the Prairie Schooler. I had decided I want to do one of these each month. That was going to be my monthly marker. Last year I did the Blackbird design stockings, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'll show you the ones that I have finished. I have one more to get finished and then I can show you the full set. So yeah, I decided I was going to do these. I got it's all DMC floss. That's for the whole kind of 10 birds. And I started and finished my first one for 2022. So I also have a finish, which is great. And here it is here. Just making sure I'm not showing you, I'm showing you the correct side. And here it is. And this is a fairly quick stitch, I would say. Oh, we have a visitor. If she comes closer, I'll pick her up. It's Alba. She's come to say hello. It's all stitched in DMC, and this fabric is Sparkly's 32 count parchment. Do you want to say hello, Alba? Do you want to say hello? Going to come up? No? Okay. No, okay. No. This is Sparkly's 32 count parchment. Maybe on reflection, I could have maybe chosen a darker fabric. On camera, you can't really see the cream, but actually in real life, you can see it. I'll just work through, I think I've got a fat quarter, I think. So I'll just work through that. And then when that's done, I'll just move on to some other 28 count. But yeah, this is my first finish of 2022. I'm really happy with it. I haven't stitched a lot of Prairie Schoolers. I've got a few charts. The last one I stitched was the one about the bees. There's one about bees and honey. Oh, where there are bees, there are bears. I think that's what it's called. I stitched it. I loved it. It was a nice stitch, but that was on cardstock. But this, I don't know. It's embarrassing. This is literally a piece of paper. So I made a working copy of it because, to be honest, it will not stand up to any kind of wear and tear. And if I'm going to stitch for the whole year, then yeah, goodness knows what state that pattern will be in. But I don't understand why they've decided to print it on such poor quality paper. It makes no sense to me. But anyway, so this is my first start and finish of 22. I'm really happy with it. I love the kind of softness of these. As I say, I haven't stitched lots of Prairie Schooler. I've got some in my stash. But this for me was a lovely, I love that kind of softness of it. You know, maybe that's me getting old, but yeah. So that was my finish. And then I worked on some projects. Do you want to say hello? She's here. Do you want to say hello? Yes. Come on and say hello, Alba. Okay, maybe not. You got to hear her. She is around. If anybody watched my unboxing of the Chromatic Alchemy Advent box, Alba does make an appearance, I think, in the third one. And if you haven't watched those videos, I understand people are really busy, but if you like hand-dyed fabric and you are unsure, because I have no LNS, so basically I need to go on what I see on a computer screen or on my phone. And while 99% of the time I'm happy with what I see, sometimes, I'm sorry, it's Alba's now. There's a bag lying and she's just decided to jump all over it. I'm sorry. If it gets really noisy, I'll move her. What was I saying? Oh yeah, LNS. So any fabric, sometimes like 99% of the time the fabric's fine. It's exactly what I expected. But I don't have the joy that I see many other people have, where they can go to a needle workshop and they can have a look at fabric and then they can have a kind of greater maybe choice or range. And I've noticed that sometimes when I'm picking online, I pick maybe always a more neutral colour, and maybe I don't take something a bit brighter. So with the box, you got 12 hand-dyed pieces of fabric. And what was good for me is then I had this massive choice. So much so that I bought another chart that I'm thinking of using one of those pieces. So it just, if you like hand-dyed fabric, I would say that advent box was very much worth the money, in my opinion. You didn't just get fabric, there was some other kind of notions and stitching treats, but yeah, I'm sorry for the noise. She's settling down now. So yeah, it's really good. So if you just want to see all 12 of the fabrics, watch my final video because I show you them all together. And you'll only see them on here if I'm going to kind of start stitching with them. That was a big ramble there. I don't know where that came from. So, what else have I been working on? I have a new start also, and I've been working on some of my whips. The first thing I would like to share with you is my Nora Corbett glittering leaves. Now, I've not done a lot on this. This is the chart here. And this is where I am at. Wait, let me make sure I have it round the right way. Yeah, so this is where I'm at. So you can see this, I've not done any of the back stitch. These are legs, her arms, and that's the start of her face. And these are obviously the wings. So I'm really happy with how this one is turning out. I don't know if you can show you that. Now this is stitched on a piece of 32 count even weave from it's not sparklies, it's not pole stitches. You know, I've got the bag here. I'm sure I've got the bag for it. My goodness, Amanda. Yeah. So it's 32 count even weave, and it's called, is it called Sportsfield? Yeah, and that's by Dewdrops Design. So this is the piece I have left. They didn't take up the whole piece. Sorry about that. So, and I'm really liking how this one is stitching up. In fact, I'm thinking maybe I'll try and stitch on a little bit over the next couple of days to see if I can maybe get the wings finished on this side. But it is actually a relatively quick stitch. If I hadn't spent so long on my sampler or been jumping around, I've not really been settled with my stitching, I could have probably got a lot more done. But it is lovely. The Karen water lilies are lovely to stitch with as well. So yeah, that's my progress on Glittering Leaves by Nora Corbett, and it is all the called for threads on the Dewdrops Designs fabric, which I'm part of their Fabric of the Month club, and that was one that came in, I think, October, September, something like that. And then I picked this up, and this I haven't touched since February of last year, and I don't know if anybody even remembers that I had started it. This was Summer House Stitchworks Roses Are Blooming. It's a Christmas stitch. It really is a Christmas stitch. Stitched all in DMC. And here is my progress on it. It's actually quite a big design. I mean, the stitch count's not huge. It's like 105 by maybe like 110, something like that. And that's as far as I've gotten. I'm not sure I'll stitch very much on this because, as I say, it is a kind of winter Christmas design. And I did start doing some more of the border in light of my problems that I had with my my Christmas sampler. So yeah, I'm about maybe not quite halfway. I'm just going to see if I can reach the chart. But I've made some progress on it, which is, I'm sorry. Which is quite good progress in my opinion. I wish I hadn't chosen a 28 count. This is a 28 count Jobelin in pale green, and while I like the colour, I wish I hadn't chosen 28 count, but I did, so I'll just stick with it. But yeah, it's a nice stitch, and again, if you were to give it some attention, you could really make some great progress on it. So I picked that up. Wasn't really a planned kind of stitch, but I'm thinking I have quite a lot of whips. I didn't do a whip parade. I know a lot of people did, which was great, but not good for if you're a bit like me and you buy all the sparkly things that you like. and I have quite a lot of whips. I don't know, it could be close to 40 plus the box that I brought back from the Netherlands, which is probably maybe another 10 or 15. I'm not sure. I probably don't look because I don't want to know the number. And a number, it's a number, it doesn't matter. It's about what I want to stitch. But maybe in my head I'm thinking I'm going to try and stitch a few more things that are already started. I will still have new starts, but maybe I try and stitch on some of these whips to get them finished, because some of them are quite far on, they don't need a lot of attention, and other ones are, there wasn't a lot done on that one. But now as I can get to the halfway stage, then I think that's always a good motivating factor. Because while you're just in the beginning, you're quite, excited, I've got a new start. And then you get to maybe the 25% and maybe it's starting to wane a little bit. And if you can push yourself to the 50% mark, for me anyway, then there's a greater chance that you're going to finish it up. So yeah, I'll probably try and give these whips some attention this year, even if it's just a day or two. It's amazing what you can get done. So I also had a new start. This is not any of the planned new starts that I talked about in my last video. And while it's confessional time, and I said that I have maybe 40 whips, I've probably got maybe, and this could be way underestimating, but maybe another 50 kitted up. And I don't mean kits, I mean actual charts that I've bought, then I've added the fabric, then I've added the threads. I've probably got another 50 or so. Because I had a terrible habit last year, which I'm going to try not to do this year, is that when I bought a chart, not so much when I bought a book. If I bought a Blackbird design book, not so much. But if I just bought a chart, I would often try and kit it up right away with the threads, and then maybe look in my stash to see if I had any fabric that was suitable. That's bad. It's a really bad habit. So this resulted in me generating lots and lots and lots of kitted projects that actually I didn't have any intention of stitching, even in the short, and even in like a year's time. I just thought, I really like that, I would like to stitch that. And that's where I should have stopped. I should have just said, I really like that, I want to stitch it, I buy the chart, and then I stop. But I didn't. I was like, all right, let me try and get the threads. Which fabric would look nice with that? And as a result, then I have this kind of whole plethora of projects that are all like, remember me? You're going to stitch on me? So that's not good. I wouldn't advise that for anyone. Anyway, my new start was none of the ones I spoke about. And that's not to say I won't start them. But it was one from this book here. Now, I bought this book, I think now it's been reprinted, but I managed to buy it off eBay. You know me, I like to jump around eBay to see what I can find, and I've been very lucky. And it's this one. Can I see it? Yeah, it's this one here. Let me see. And it's at First Cock's Crow, which is it's a kind of Halloween sampler. But yeah, so I started it. I had it all kitted up, and I thought, let's go for it. And here is where I'm at. Now this is 32 count Ancient. It's my last piece of Ancient that I've got, and I've got no more Ancient, and I'm hoping it's going to be released soon. And yeah, that's as far as I've gotten. I've also learned my lesson. I've started the border, which is good, and then I worked away just on the kind of top left. But yeah, I like the fabric. You could get away with a darker fabric. And I'm using all the called for threads, except I think one swap. And I'll explain the swap in a second. So the threads are, this is the typical type that I've just explained. I really like that. I think I'll kit it up, which I did do. And at the time, I couldn't get Garden Gate. I think I had one skein or part of a skein in my stash, but yeah. And I can't get, or I couldn't get caramel corn either. So they've got DMC alternatives, which I picked up. And I think pumpkin pie was another one that I couldn't get, although I've managed to get a hold of it now. But Garden Gate, so let's talk about Garden Gate. I've got Garden Gate and some other projects, but yeah. I'm a kind of one for picking up threads randomly off, maybe I do it this way, that might be better, randomly off the internet, off kind of stash unload, and I came across this one here. Colour's probably a little bit bright, it's a bit darker than that, but I had like 6 skeins of this, and this is 6 Strand Sweets, hand dyed by Jessica Burr. I have no idea, yeah, if these are still made, but this was black licorice, and it's a kind of grey lilac-y, and it's not exactly the same as Garden Gate, but I quite liked how it looked in it. I've actually started stitching with it. Now the DMC alternative was this one, and you can see in real life that's more of a grey green, so there will be a different kind of look to my sampler, but that's what I've chosen. I'm not doing Garden Gate, and I'm happy with how it looks. If I hadn't liked, I would have just stopped and either used the DMC alternative or looked for Garden Gate, which I think maybe you could get now. I'm just going to show you if you can see. So see here, you can see it actually when I take it really close. The H and the I and R, they're all done in that black licorice. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how it looks. Actually, it looks better closer, to be honest. And I really like how it looks on an Ancient. But you could afford to have it a little bit darker for this sampler. So yeah, that was my random new start for the new year. It was my New Year, New Start. And I'm not sure I'll stitch on it millions at the moment, but I'm glad I started it, because I'm kind of thinking now, if I don't start some of this stuff and I buy as prolifically as I buy, then they'll never get actually stitched. So that's all my stitching. Let me just take a pause for my coffee. But I do have some finishes to tell you about, some fully finishes. As you know, last year I decided I would stitch one stocking from the Blackbird design stocking of the month, the little booklets, one each month as a kind of monthly marker. For this year it's going to be the Prairie Birds, which is fine, but you've seen these, they're already stitched, but I now have them fully finished. Now the fully finishing is done by Lynn, which is Heartfelt Finishing. I'll link it below. She also has a Flosstube, the Lancashire stitcher. Great stitcher, great projects. So this was my July stocking, and it's finished really well, as always. And it's got the hanger, and I've added the year. I might do something different this year, sorry, for the pillows. And then this, I think, was the October stocking. Yeah, I'm sure it was the October stocking. And again, finished really well with a hanger. So that's, I have one more to get finished. I don't know how I missed it. I thought I was all kind of organised, and this time you would see all 12 of them. But no, you'll need to wait to the next time, and then there'll be all 12 to show together. So yeah, that was my 2 fully finishes that I got back from Lynn. And then I have tiny bit of haul, not a lot of haul. My first piece of haul is, I was on the John Lewis website. I had to think there. John Lewis website, which is a department store here in the UK. And I was looking particularly because it was like their January sales, and I was looking for household things, because as you know, I left everything back in the Netherlands. I've now come to live with my parents, so I'm starting again afresh. And this year at some point I'll move back into my house, but I need stuff. I need pots, plates, cutlery. And while I've been gathering up a few things, I've done really well. I feel sorry because my mum's house is just filled with stuff. And in fact, if you watch the Chromatic Alchemy unboxings, you can see my kettle and my toaster behind me. I bought an Emma Bridgewater, the cream kettle and toaster with the spots on it. Yeah, they're sitting in boxes behind me. There's just kind of like boxes yeah, of stuff. So I digress yet again. So I was looking at the household things, and I did get a few things here and there, but I then thought, oh, they do a craft section. They have like, well, I didn't really know. It's been a while since I've been at John Lewis, but I do know that they sell some cross-stitch stuff and sewing machines and stuff like that. So I went on and I picked this kit up. Now this is by the Historical Sampler Company. I've actually never done any of their kits before, but I picked this up and it was like a bargain price. I got it for £12. Full kit. I mean, I will probably swap out the Ada, but yeah, I really liked it. It's like a kind of Christmas advent calendar. I think that's what it's called actually. Yeah, Advent House. But yeah, I picked that up for £12. I don't know if they've got any more, but if anyone's interested, pop along, have a look at John Lewis, see what you can see. Don't go to the other departments like me and spend a fortune. Just have a wee look. Maybe you'll see something that you like. So I picked that up. And as I was saying, in the Advent box, there was one fabric in particular that I really, really liked. And I thought it would be suitable for this project here. And this is Nora Corbett's Dewdrops. So yeah, so I picked up this chart and the bead pack, and I got them from Arts and Designs here in Scotland. So yeah, I've not done any more. I've not got the threads yet. And I've already kind of thinking that that piece of fabric would be good. I should have been organised and brought it through to show you. But yeah, so I picked up that. And also, and I think this actually, I had this before I filmed the last time, I'm part of the thread club from Lakeside Needleworks, here in the UK. And I got my thread, I think actually I might have 2 months here, there's lots of threads. But I'm part of the Classic Colorworks thread club, and I also got, yeah, I'll not go through them all, people don't need to see them all, but yeah, so that's quite nice. Nice little stash there. Yeah, so that was all the stash I bought in the last couple of weeks, excuse me. And then I received a little bit of happy mail. First thing is I got a lovely thank you card from someone who won a giveaway, which was very nice and thoughtful. And I also, from Ingeborg, I received a lovely Christmas card and a little skein of DMC. I think it's Colaris, yeah, which is really nice. It's so cute. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I have for you. Plans? I don't really have plans. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to stitch on what I want to stitch on. As I said, I'm going to try and keep a track a little bit of the whips that I've got to just see if I can chip away. I don't really want to set any hard targets. The only target I want to set is my monthly marker. And so far I'm on track. It's only the 5th of January and I'm up to date. So if I can keep that going, that would be great. And if you've never done anything like that, I would thoroughly recommend it. I really enjoyed doing the stockings last year. And so far, the little pillows have been great. Yeah, stitch on what you want. That's what I'm thinking. I do have a couple of Valentine stitches that I would like to do. So they might make an appearance as well. But that's all I've got to say. I hope you are all well. Hope you're enjoying the new year. Embrace it in positivity. That's what I think. I only wish health and happiness for everyone. And I will see you in a couple of weeks' time. If there's any questions, you can pop me an email or leave a comment below and I'll certainly answer it. But I'll link everything that I've shown in terms of projects so you can get the charts if you're interested in. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Take care. Bye-bye.